Hello, welcome to Canary Cast. Before we start, like, subscribe, and stick around to the end of the video, and we might have a great offer with our partners, FansBet. I'm joined, as always, by Joe and Jacob, but this time I'm hosting. Joe, why aren't you hosting?
Just fancy the switch up, mate. Look, keep it fresh.
He's lazy.
Yeah.
You can't be asked.
To be fair, I'm surprised you showed up for this. Jacob, how you doing?
Yeah, very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, as good as I can be. Because we are about to speak about the championship and roughly how we think it's going to end, which means it will definitely not end how any of us have said it. So let's get straight cracking, and we'll start with you, Jacob. Let's start with, who do you reckon is going to finish top?
Finish top, right. So my top two this year, I've had a lot of thinking about it, and I'd love to say Norwich, but I think we will bottle the expectations. So I'm going to say Watford and Brentford as it stands. Because I think Watford have the strongest squad in my opinion. I know they have about 11 injuries going into the Borough game, but overall with the squad they've got currently, very, very strong. If they keep Ismaili Sarr, then crikey. They've just got good midfield generals in there. You know, Will Hughes does a job. Chalobah is good in the Championship. And then a solid back line. Ben Foster's a Premier League keeper for me still. Craig Dawson, Cathcart, who I know doesn't play as much. It's an aging squad, but it's a squad I think that this season can definitely challenge. And Brentford, I know mentality-wise it might be in and around it, but Ivan Toney I'd expect to really bang in the goals. 6.5 million is a lot of money for them, but considering they've just gone and amazingly got 28 million, potentially 33 million for Ollie Watkins, is for a guy who's never played in the Premier League is remarkable. Matthias Jensen, Dalsgaard, Pinnock, Janssen, David Raya if he stays and doesn't go to Arsenal, Rico Henry, best left back in the league for me now that Jamal Lewis is gone. It's an incredible squad there for me, and I think they'll comfortably be in and around it. So yeah, they're my top two.
And pretty much they are the two favourites. I mean, you browse all the other predictions and betting sites, and they do say, you know, that Watford and Brentford are pretty much favourites alongside Norwich, but that expectation always does everyone in. But let's go to your playoff places. Who do you reckon?
Now, this is going to be the one I think where I'm just going to be completely wrong at the end of the season. So with our season preview, I've said Norwich would finish 5th, so I've got to stay with that. I don't know. Looking at the other teams, I'm not too sure if they'll finish above Norwich. But everyone's... Yeah, 5th, mate. Everyone's prediction of Stoke is always they're going to finish in the top 6, and they always bottle it. So I've gone with they will finish top 6. I've gone Stoke 3rd, Millwall 4th, which looking at it makes me feel a little bit sick. Yeah, Gary Rowett's very, very good manager, in my opinion, if he gets the right circumstances.
Yeah, but it's Millwall.
If Troy Parrott fires, they're only missing a striker last season.
True.
Millwall. They're very solid at the back. They play a horrible brand of football that no one wants to play against. Norwich 5th. Yeah, like I say, I think we'll bottle it. In terms of top 2, I think it will take a bit of time for us to get going. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion. And then Cardiff 6th for the same reason of Millwall and Stoke. Very defensively solid. Horrible to play against. They've put in a good couple of attributes in terms of new signings. Interested about Nathaniel Manders-Lang just completely getting sacked. That could maybe derail their season. But Lee Tomlin's one of the best number 10s of the league.
Wow, that's a hell of a claim. Let's move on down to the.
Don't pull that face at me, Joe. On his day, he's one of the best number 10s of the league.
Okay.
On his day, he's class.
No,
it's just never his day.
Not having that.
It's just never his day.
Let's
move down to the relegation zone. Now, this is contentious because I feel like this season for the Championship, there are so many contenders for relegation. But let's see who you've gone with.
Right, so I'll give them and then kind of give my reason as to why I'm not lazily picking them. So I'm going to say Rotherham, Wickham, and Huddersfield. So, like I say, looking at it from the outside, it's probably lazy that I've just picked 2 promoted clubs to go straight back down. But looking at this Rotherham team, I love Paul Warne, love the whole kind of ethos he brings to that club. I don't think they're stronger than when they came up last time, and they struggled last time. You know, still got Matt Smith up front. I struggled to see where the goals are coming from. They didn't score that much in League One, and obviously went up through the points per game. They still might have got up as champions. They still went up in the top 2. I'm not too sure about them. Wickham, again, I don't know really where the goals are coming from. Daryl Horgan came on against Brentford in the cup game and was really good for them. I don't think Akinfenwa going to play that much. Maybe it's old Ikpeazu, who's
Harvey.
a big brute that there. Very big boy. Again, doesn't score goals, but they'll be a horrible team to play against. I just don't think they've got enough. And Huddersfield, when we were talking to Andy Takes That Charts podcast, they look in real disarray. They've got rid of Steve Mounier to France, and Carlin Grant could be going to West Brom. They're the two main scorers. Danny Ward's come in to replace them, but they just look at a team full of young players who could maybe gel together and progress. I'd be very surprised if it all comes together. I think they're looking at a very long, hard season there.
Wow, well, some big calls in those predictions. What do you reckon, Joe, to that prediction?
It was all right. Some of the shouts. Jake, you put Cardiff in the playoffs.
Yeah, where they finished last season.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And gave Fulham, who got promoted, a very good game. Look,
That'd be
I'm on that Neil
if
Harris.
they repeated it again, but Neil Harris has done quite well since he's gone there. To be fair.
Yeah, I'm on that Neil Harris bandwagon, mate. I think they've got a strong squad.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think they've got a strong squad, and they play a horrible brand of football that do not.
A horrible brand of football that seems to do really well in the Championship. If you play crap, horrible Brexit football, you tend to do really well.
Yeah, and they've got ex-Premier League players in there, so it's solid enough for me to think that they'll have a chance.
There's no one on their team sheet that you look at and think, blimey, I don't fancy playing him, though.
Lee Tomlin on his day.
Right, let's move on. Shall I go next? Because I feel like I have some contentious calls in there as well. So
go.
I have Watford and Norwich to finish first and second. The hype is incredibly real for the Norwich squad, bearing in mind they've made so many additions. And there's something about Norwich that just always seems to bottle it when anything is expected for them. But maybe this is the change. Maybe this is the time that they are expected to do well, and they do well. And as you said about Watford, they do have a fantastic side. I wonder how the managerial stuff, because I imagine they'll have 4 or 5 managers this season. So that'll be interesting to see how they do throughout all that. And Norwich, if they can stick to their principles and play nice football, they should be up there. But we'll just have to see. It depends if Pookie fires, and if he doesn't fire, Hugo comes in and does a bang-up job. And the squad, as it stands at the moment, because we're recording this halfway through the transfer window, and they have 35 players in the squad. If they keep all of them, then at least they'll have a couple of teams that they can put out if they don't work. But we know how Daniel Farker is, and he will stick to one team. So, bless the 20 people that never get a game. Anyway, let's
Out of all those 35, there's one that we need to keep, and that is Emiliano Buendia. That man stays, we are top.
But he won't. Right, let's move on to the playoff places. I've put Borough at third. Now, Borough.
11 players,
One reason alone. And that's Warnock. What he does to squads in the Championship, it doesn't matter who they are. They could be the crappiest team in the league. But because he's there, for some reason, it all goes swimmingly well. So I've put them third. Brentford fourth.
Third!
Yeah, I know. It's a call. It's a call, but I think it's a big call. And then Brentford fourth. Brentford are a fantastic side. I just do think that there's always a team in there that do really well, but they sort of finish sort of middling tied. But I would put them as my favourites to win the playoffs. And they would deserve it because they've got such a good squad. Stoke, as you said, they never seem to make it, but I think they're going to make it. And then Derby, just because they're always there. They're always there. They'll never get any.
They've got a really good young squad, Derby.
They've got a really good squad,
They've got a lot of good players.
And they will never make it to the Premier League. They will always be in the playoffs, and they will never make it. I'd love to see the stats of where they finish, because it will be 5th and 6th every single time. Then relegation, Sheffield Wednesday. I do not think they're going to break that points deduction, which is a shame because I like Sheffield Wednesday. Wickham, because I think they've got such heart in that squad. Akinfenwa is a showman, if nothing else, but just not enough quality to really go after a really tough league. And then Rotherham, I think that's very similar. I'd love to see them stay up, but I can't see it. But there's some teams in this league that very easily could go down, as you said. Huddersfield very easily could go down if everything our guest on the last podcast said was true. So
yeah, Luton, Coventry,
Luton,
Birmingham,
Luton. But then Luton did really well against Norwich. So
you say Middlesbrough could finish third. You could easily see them going the other way.
For sure.
This is Warnock's kind of, if he kind of gets to Christmas, and obviously this is his last job, which it probably won't be.
It's been his last job for the last 10 jobs.
Exactly. But if you see him as mid-table fodder, as Burrow's mid-table fodder, he might just go, can I really be bothered? And sack it off, and they could get someone dreadful in. And you never know, do you?
But it's also Stephen Warnock. Neil Warnock. It's also Neil Warnock. So it could easily just be he storms the league and he's in the Premier League for all of 20 minutes because he will do nothing. So anyway, let's move on to Joe. Let's see what you've got in store for us. Is there any big calls in this one? Let's go with top two.
I don't think there are any big calls, to be honest with you. Top two, I'm Norwich and Watford first and second. I'm still toying with who's going to finish top. But I think when you consider Watford have a new manager and we don't, our squad have done it before, theirs hasn't, despite being really strong. I think everything points to us being slight favourites there. So I'll go Norwich top, Watford second. I was thinking about putting Brentford second and maybe relegating Watford to third, but I think now they've lost Watkins, I'll stick with Watford in second place.
You don't think Ivan Toney will fill that hole?
No. He'll score goals, but he's not going to go and score 20 goals and get him promoted.
Really?
Really?
He scored 26.
You've seen Ivan Toney play?
Yeah, in League One, lads. Come on.
I saw Pilkington play in League One.
On it and all this stuff, but it's Ivan Toney. Like, I don't think he'll score 20 goals.
That's a big statement. I'm going to be clipping that up, and I'm going to be putting.
There is a lot of fans who would disagree with you, and a lot of them Newcastle fans. Something I'm used to. So,
do you not think Ben Rama? Do you not think Ben Rama and Buemo will grab most of their goals?
No, Ivan Toney.
No, so they're there to obviously. I don't think Ben Rama will stay. And Buemo is an excellent player, but his job is to filter in behind or on the right hand side, cut in, shoot. Keeper parries, Tony taps in. That's the job.
That's the game plan.
He is still quite a step up, lads.
No, he might fail, but look at Brentford's past. Hogan, Watkins, Lope. There's a lot there. I'd be very surprised if he failed in that squad.
He'll score goals. I don't think he'll get 20.
If he doesn't get 20, I don't know how Brentford finish third.
No.
It's your prediction.
Tell us what you think. God damn it.
And they have the Valencia guy as well up top.
Yeah, João Valencia. Yeah, but I'd say he's more backup than he's not really a striker.
We'll see.
Well, Ivan Toney on FansBet is 9-1 to finish top goal scorer, and that's behind one person, and that's Timu Pukki. So
we have an offer with FansBet when you sign up, don't we, Harvey?
We'll talk about that later. Well, that is big. To be fair, I think that's the biggest call you've made, saying that Ivan Toney won't score 20, because I feel that's almost like common. Everyone thinks that. So that's interesting. Who have you got in the rest of the playoffs places then?
So Brentford third, obviously. Now I've gone for Swansea, Millwall, and Forest. I think Swansea have done well to re-sign some players like Mark Guéhi on loan. They've kept hold of Joe Rodon. They've still got Ayew on ridiculous money, but they've still got him. They were decent last year. I think Steve Cooper came in and carried on the good work Graham Potter had done, and I would imagine he will improve on that this season, hence why I put them in fourth. Millwall.
They haven't got a striker, mate.
Ayew? No?
He doesn't play up front. But he does score goals. They just don't have a striker.
They are another dark horse team, to be fair.
If they get a striker, they'll be
very, very, very well placed. But are you 25-1 to finish top goal?
Yeah, Millwall. Who was 25-1? Are you?
Are you?
He scored like 19 goals last season.
Millwall for the same reason as Jacob, basically. Troy Parrott, I think, is a decent sign. Hopefully, he proves that he's actually decent. Because no one really seems to know if he is going to step into that Spurs team. And then Forest, I think Lamucci's the first manager there to keep his job in years. And despite collapsing at the back end of last season, I think they'll probably improve on that this season and just about sneak in 6th place.
Who do you think are going to get relegated, Joe?
I've gone
cool.
Bottom to top. No. Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday, Wycombe, Huddersfield. Let's just end it there.
You think Huddersfield are going down?
Yeah, they're crap.
Because you were saying on the last video that you were quite surprised about sort of the dire straits they were in.
Yeah, I was speaking to Matt at the Andy Takes That Chance podcast. I feel even more confident for tomorrow, but I still think we'll be disjointed. So I haven't backed us for a win. I think we'll get a point. Hopefully I'm wrong. But Huddersfield generally, they've sold Mounier. They're going to sell Carlin Grant. They've got that Lewis O'Brien geezer. Their defenders are all like 30 plus, slow, cumbersome. And then they've got those wingers that have been converted to full backs. I don't fancy that at all. Diakabe's all right. But yeah, they just don't excite me.
Junior Pacuna's the one, isn't he? He's the one, if he's on his game, he might.
He's so on and off.
Yeah. No, that's the problem with that squad, isn't it? I can't see them staying up either. Fair play if they do, but Adam's a new manager.
They're just free falling in completely the wrong direction since they've been promoted to the Premier League. Like, they're just all over the shop. They deserve to go down, so hopefully they do.
Deserve to go down? Jesus, that's
hard.
Yeah, like if the chairman's gonna chuck his own club under the bus like that, then.
What do you think of that, Huddersfield? Well, not as out there as some of perhaps mine and Jacob's calls, but there are some...
Bournemouth? No, none of us fancy Bournemouth.
None of us fancy Bournemouth. I think the problem with Bournemouth is they've now lost such a huge core of their team.
Yeah, goalkeeper, centre-back, striker. That's a bit... They do have a fantastic midfield.
And they did collapse without Fraser as well, so...
True.
Like
who you'll be very happy with getting.
Oh, very happy. Yeah, he got 18. He's got 18 assists, which makes him over the last 2 seasons. Got 18 assists, which makes him the 4th, most assists over the last 2 seasons in the Premier League. Which is
I think
mad.
they'll miss him a lot.
I think so, because I wonder, with obviously they've uprooted everything and taken Eddie Howe away. I wonder if that will just reroute their team, and maybe they need a year just to build up again.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, obviously Bournemouth bringing in the assistant manager, it stinks with Neil Adams, to be honest. You're trying to keep that consistency in the club, but it's a club that are consistently faltering at the moment. Like we said, losing a big chunk of that spine, I think is a real kind of gamble to pick a rookie who's never managed before and just throw him into the Championship. It didn't work for us when we had the best squad in the league with Neil Adams. And with Bournemouth, I don't think they have. I think they probably have a 10th to 8th, maybe strongest squad in the league. Looking at it at the moment, so yeah, I think they'll have a struggle of a season, but they might surprise us with new signings. At the moment, there's still a month to go, isn't there? So we might be proved wrong.
And Solanke, he might come good. You never know, and they bloody pay him enough. So
yeah. I'm not sure about that, but we'll see. He might finish top goal scorer. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. Before we end, let's do a quick prediction on top goal scorers, because I think it could be one of many. So
Joe, obviously,
Joe,
sorry,
Jacob, go on.
No, go on, Joe.
Timo Pukki. People keep writing him off, and I'm talking to Norwich fans now as well. You write him off. People write him off at Schalke. People write him off at Sevilla. People write him off at Celtic. He still came here and done well. He scored 29 goals in the Championship at the first time of asking. He scored, was it 11 in the Prem, Jacob? Yeah, 11 in the Prem, still a good return, and he was crap for 6 months. People don't write Timo Pukki off. He'll bang goals this season.
And if he doesn't?
Well, Hugo's not going. Yeah, Hugo's not going to, so we need him to, basically.
Fair enough. Go on then, Jacob, who do you reckon?
Oh, I'm going to go with a little dark horse and say potentially Luis Suarez for Watford. If he plays, then he could definitely bang in some goals because he was very good last season in the Spanish second division. Ivan Toney will be in and around there. And you can't really back away from Timo, can you? He is a fantastic forward at this level. And I don't think last season in the Championship you could put your hat on, right, it's definitely Mitrovic. Like, I'd be very surprised if it's anyone else because he's Premier League quality in the Championship League. I don't know if you've got that striker this season who you can say that he is too good at this level. So I don't think it'll be as many as Mitrovic, who I think scored 26 last season. I think it'll be a little bit lower, so there'll probably be quite a few in and around it at the end of the season.
Fair enough. I can't see past Ivan Toney. I think he's on a meteoric rise, so I can see him banging in the goals, to be honest. And that's not just
a youth player.
Exactly, which would be good for us because it's always good to see one of the lads do well. It's just we seem to let him go for absolutely nothing. So,
do you even have a sell-on clause?
No. Right, let's move on. Let's end it there. I think it's been a couple of good predictions in there, a couple of bold calls. Let us know what you think because we are interested. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and I think there might be an offer. So we'll have to see.
There is. Look, wait until the end of this video and you'll see me, Joe, or Harvey, or maybe all of us. It's up to Harvey. Tell us all about that. Link in the description. Link up here. Have a little look at it. 50% of your deposit, up to £100. It's an absolute bargain when you sign up with our code.
Lovely stuff. Right then, we'll see you in the next video. Later on.
Yeah, hello.
There's an important message.
Even more important message, Harvey. Me, you, and Joe have got a fantastic offer. All of us at Canary Cards from FansBet. They boost your deposit up to 50%. You give up to £100 when you sign up with them. Links in the description and right in front of Harvey's face.
It's important.